여러분 반갑습니다. I'm Kwon-sewa and this is K-Culture Dive, where we dive deeper into the heart of Korean culture. From K-entertainment to AI news, K-culture and photos, and today a vivid experience of the first leg of BTS's Arirang tour in Goyang. Let's dive in. And joining us today is my co-host Walter Lee. Walter, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Soa, and happy Monday to our viewers watching. I'm Walter Lee, here with you today to co-host alongside Soa and give you the latest in K-entertainment stories.
And Walter, we are kicking off with K-Enter News, and we are starting with BTS and their Goyang concert over the weekend, or actually Thursday through the weekend, which was huge. So I heard it was a massive turnout.
Yes, it was indeed. According to their agency, actually, around 44,000 people attended each performance, so each concert. The production reportedly exceeded expectations as well, with its bold staging too.
And we'll hear more detailed reviews from our expert David in a bit. But Walter, I hear BTS have set another record as well.
I feel like I could say this every week. They're always setting new records. But yes, this news comes off the back of last week's news that we reported on. But BTS have made K-pop history once again, as their new album Arirang has topped the Billboard 200 for 3 consecutive weeks. Now, according to a chart preview article released by Billboard on Sunday local time, Arirang held onto the #1 spot for a 3rd straight week, beating out Morgan Wallen's I'm the Problem and Kanye West's Bully. Now, this marks the first time a K-pop album has stayed at the #1 on the Billboard 200 for 3 weeks in a row. Now, previously, the OST from K-pop Demon Hunters achieved 2 non-consecutive weeks at #1, but Arirang is the first to do so consecutively. Now, also Swim previously reached #2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and is highly likely to remain in the top 10 this week as well.
Well, let's see if they can continue to swim on the charts for a little while. And next up, Katseye have once again hinted at a major breakout with their new song, Pinky Up. I can't get my pinky up. It's pretty hard. But as the track is showing a sharp rise on the Spotify charts.
Yes, they are indeed. This is a great accomplishment for Katseye. And according to the latest Spotify charts released Saturday local time, Katseye's Pinky Up ranked #10 on the Daily Top Songs US chart and #18 on the Daily Top Songs Global chart as well.
Now, Walter, could this be coming off the back of the Coachella festivals in the US?
Yes, that's a good question. Maybe, because Katseye took the Coachella stage for the very first time and kicked off their performance on Friday local time with their new song, Pinky Up. However, Swiss member Manon did not participate in the performance as she has been on hiatus since February due to health reasons. But the highlight of the show was their performance of Golden on an OST from K-pop Demon Hunters. Now, during the song, there were surprise appearances by none other than Ije, Audrey, Nuna, and Ray Amy, who sang for the Huntrix in the animation movie. Now, the next lot of concerts for Coachella will be on April 17th to 19th, and these will include other K-pop names such as Big Bang and Taemin.
And this coming ahead of the big return of Big Bang as well in the latter part of the year.
Indeed.
But now finally we're going to move on to a movie, The King's Warden, because it's still climbing up the all-time box office charts.
It is indeed. So according to distributor Showbox, The King's Warden surpassed 16.28 million cumulative viewers on Saturday, its 67th day since release. Now, this exceeds the 16.26 million recorded by Extreme Job, making it the 2nd highest film of all time in terms of audience numbers in Korea. Now, released in February, the film gained strong word-of-mouth momentum during the Lunar New Year holiday and reached 10 million viewers in just 31 days.
And I think it's not over. The last time I I checked, the figure was at 16.39 million, almost 16.4 million. But I guess the 16.28 million was a very significant number because, yes, it has surpassed so many other movies. And you're going to name some of the very iconic movies in the box office that Wangsanam has surpassed.
Exactly. So yes, I did say it passed the Extreme Job, which was second, but right, it has gone and surpassed other records of other major box office hits such as Exuma, The King and the Clown, 12 the Day, and Ode to My Father. Now, currently the only film that has drawn more viewers than The King's Warden is The Admiral Roaring Currents. However, audience numbers have recently been declining as of Friday, daily attendance has dropped from around 90,000 to 50,000 and then 30,000, with the film also slipping to third place on the box office. But despite this, it has already recorded the highest total revenue of all time.
I mean, it makes sense that the numbers are dropping now because most of them already watched it, those who wanted to watch it. And let's see whether this major hit will actually lead to more people actually going to the theaters for some other new releases this April.
Yes.
But thank you, Walter, for those updates, and stick around.
No worries.
And now let's go over to our AR anchor Arirang for more on the culture front. Arirang.
Thanks, Sua. Here's your AI guide to the latest cultural headlines from Korea. Let's begin with our top story. The government has unveiled a support package for the culture and tourism sector amid ongoing war risks and a potential economic slowdown. The Culture Ministry plans to inject an additional 460 billion won, or about $309 million in support. More than 65.6 billion won, or roughly $44 million, will be allocated for film production and movie ticket discounts. Under the plan, a total of 4.5 million tickets will be offered, each with a discount worth about $4. Additional funds have also been set aside to support artists facing financial hardship, as well as to provide financing for the arts industry. In the tourism sector, the government will extend an extra 200 billion won, or around $134 million, in loans to tourism-related businesses. The Culture Ministry will promote Korean children's books and picture books this week in Bologna, Italy. It will take part in the 63rd Bologna Children's Book Fair, operating an export consultation booth and an author promotion hall in partnership with the Publication Industry Promotion Agency of Korea. The Bologna Fair is the world's largest rights market for children's publishing. Alongside export consultations, the event will offer networking opportunities for global publishers, while showcasing the original works of 15 Korean authors. A special session will also highlight globally recognized Korean writers, including Igami, a finalist for this year's Hans Christian Andersen Award. More than 50,000 people visited the 2026 Galleries Art Fair, held last week at COEX in Seoul. According to the Galleries Association of Korea, this year saw a particularly notable increase in attendance from younger visitors and families. On the sales front, a large number of mid to low-priced works were sold, while some high-end pieces also changed hands, signaling domestic art market recovery. The association noted that the sales results also reflect the broadening of the market base. The fair, one of Korea's oldest, was held on its largest scale to date this year, with some 170 participating galleries. That's all from me. Turning now to a quick look at more K-culture stories making headlines today.
Through a single photo at a time, we take a closer look at culture in Korea. This is K-Culture in Photos. Let's start with this word. Tteokbokki is Korea's most iconic street food, often described as spicy sweet rice cakes coated in a rich red chili sauce, and it is now winning hearts worldwide. Once considered too spicy and chewy for global taste, it's now trending across social media. The tteokbokki challenge has gone viral, with people testing their limits from mild to extremely spicy. Some laugh, some sweat, and some even tear up, sharing their real reactions as part of the fun. Let's take a look at these scenes. We can see people from different countries trying many forms of tteokbokki, cheesy, creamy, or extra spicy. Its global buzz grew even stronger after Jimin of BTS was seen enjoying it, and it was recently added to the Oxford English Dictionary, marking its place in global culture. After something spicy like tteokbokki, what comes to mind? That's right, ice cream. That sweet and spicy combo is just irresistible. In Korea, convenience stores are filled with a wide variety of ice cream, from melon and watermelon bars to chocolate tubes and cone-shaped classics. These are everyday favorites loved for decades. But now, ice cream in Korea is evolving in a fun and unexpected way. Hyper-realistic ice cream is trending, designed to look just like real food. Think carrot-shaped bars that even have a crunch bite, or samgakgimbap, a triangle kimbap-style sorbet made with a rice base and wrapped in seaweed. There are also beautifully crafted fruit-shaped ice creams, mango, peach, strawberry, and grape, almost too pretty to eat. And yes, they taste as good as they look. And then, there are even more surprising creations. Ramyeon-shaped ice cream, or even ice cream inspired by spicy fried chicken. Some are said to combine spicy and sweet flavors, so you get both in a single bite. These photos show even ice cream can turn everyday treats into something playful and new. A traditional Korean accessory is back in the spotlight, Norigae. Recently, members of BTS, including Suga and V or Norigae on stage, bringing renewed global attention to this timeless piece. Traditionally worn with hanbok, Norigae is known for its elegant knots and flowing tassels. Today, it's being reimagined, blending classic Korean beauty with modern style. It's also becoming a hands-on culture experience. DIY Norigae classes are gaining popularity, especially among international visitors who can choose their own colors and materials to create a personalized piece. These people fall in love with making their own Norigae, which have become everyday accessories, even used as key rings or back charms. And now, speaking of key rings, they've become a huge trend in Korea. In fact, they are no longer just simple accessories. They reflect personal style, trends, and even fandom. Over time, different styles have come and gone, from popular characters and drama-inspired designs to plush doll key rings that people love to collect and carry. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Some key rings have evolved into albums. Groups like NCT, which released a key ring-style album with an NFC chip inside, allowing fans to play music instantly, right from their bags. And Rise introduced voice key rings as part of their album release. And there are even albums designed to look like car keys. Singer Ooze released one that resembles a real car key, blurring the line between merchandise and music. Even the smallest items like key rings are constantly evolving, turning simple objects into cultural experiences.
The Goyang concert, the starting point of BTS's world tour Arirang, wrapped up over the weekend to an incredible response from fans. As the start of their first full group tour in around 4 years, the venue was packed with excitement and anticipation. Now today, we're joined by David Kim, content creator and adjunct professor at Kyungil University, who was there in person to hear more about the electrifying scene on the ground. Welcome back, David.
Hello, David.
Hello, glad to be back.
Give us some BTS energy here. Yay.
Kim Namjoon.
Oh, that's your bias?
No, it's the chant start. Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
I was just channeling that energy. Yeah.
All right, so you were there at the BTS concert on opening day,
Yes.
and you told us before about the ticketing process. experiences. Now you're going to tell us how it actually went. So why don't we start like how your day looked at from the beginning of when you woke up that morning?
Right. So actually, we need to rewind even before that day. So
Sure.
as I told you last time, I didn't have my light stick. So I actually had to go before that day and meet a person at the secondhand market, get mine for $15. It was a good deal. I prepared that, and also when I woke up, quite honestly, it was a little bit concerning because the weather was a little bit bad. There was a lot of heavy rain, so I was like, oh no, it's the first concert, and a lot of people are going to be in raincoats and in like inconvenient situations. However, despite that fact, actually, I was trying to get some merch in the early morning, despite the rain, but I quickly gave up because I saw on social media that hundreds and 200, more than 200 people were lined up at 8 a.m. in the morning. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna, pass on the merch. But anyways, I prepared thoroughly. I had my waterproof windbreaker on. I had a lot of like raincoats ready, warm food and stuff. I prepared my light stick. I hopped onto the subway. Fortunately, my house is connected in a direct line to Taewa Station. So on the line, I saw so many army on the subway, and it was so crowded. When I actually landed on the Taewa station itself, I couldn't even like go through because of the crowd. There were so many police, so many pictures of BTS plastered here and there. So the energy was just really vibrant, and yeah, it was great.
Wow.
Talking about atmosphere, what was the atmosphere like the moment you arrived in the venue? Now, we saw some of the atmosphere from Sejong last week when she tuned in on Thursday. She got to only stand outside the venue, but I obviously imagine inside the venue was just massive.
Yes, it was hectic overall, even outside, as I said. Once I just arrived at Goyang Stadium, there was an immediate bottleneck starting from the subway. So it actually took more than 30 to 40 minutes just to get from the subway to the stadium. Right in front of the stadium, people in Army were just taking pictures with the big poster, with their light sticks. One thing I noticed was that the demographic was mostly international. I think more than 70%, just ballpark, were from international Army. And I heard so many different languages. I was like, is this Korea? Rather than Korean, I heard Chinese, Japanese, English, Spanish, all these different languages. So very surprised with the diversity. Fashion-wise, everyone was dressed up in their best outfits, purple, cute raincoats. Some people had Jin's face plastered on the raincoats. That was very cute. And also, a lot of people were just like, just crowded up in front of the stadium doing their own dances, TikToks, and light stick ceremonies. So that was very cute to watch. So the energy was definitely very high. One thing that I personally felt was, as a male, I was a little bit in the beginning kind of intimidated because I was like only the 5% of the only males that were in that whole vicinity. But once I actually got into the seat, actually the Army that sat next to me handed me a welcome package with some candy and some snacks. So yeah, it immediately melted down. I just sunk into the whole vibes. Yeah.
That's very nice. And I mean, you mentioned that there were people like dancing around and having their lovely purple outfits on. I felt like the rain really didn't matter to the fans when I looked at the facial expressions of the fans in all of those videos going viral. But yeah, David, this concert marked BTS's first full group concert in almost 4 years. So it lasted for around 3 hours. And how would you describe the audience's energy throughout the show? And were there any memorable, of course, a lot of memorable moments, but anything that stood out to you?
Yeah, I'm still reliving the moment right now. The adrenaline rush is still here. I would say the energy was amazing. It was just incredible. Fans, what was contrary from the Netflix show was that fans are now have memorized all the lyrics, all the fan chants. So people were actively singing along to all the lyrics and songs, which made the whole experience more lively, more dynamic. And one thing I noticed was a lot of fans seem to have a lot of nostalgia in terms of BTS BTS actually played a lot of their classics, their old songs. And whenever these kind of songs like Fake Love, I Need You, Mic Drop Fire, when they came out, fans seemed to go crazy. They were like almost crying to hear those tunes hit the concert venue. So that was very nostalgic even to me.
Probably some were crying.
Exactly. And also the rain factor, as you mentioned, didn't actually deter the experience at all. It actually made it into a better experience, a special vibe. RM, the leader, kept on emphasizing 오히려 좋아, 오히려 좋아. That means like it's even better, you know, it can't get even better. So he showed a lot of positive vibes during the rain, and Suga also mentioned that every rainy BTS concert is an iconic and memorable one. So he said like this would be an unforgettable experience for them as well too. There was an iconic moment where V actually was on the ground, literally swimming inside the whole pool of water, and he was flopping like a fish. That just surprised a lot of fans. I think that was definitely a highlight of the concert. And yeah, just seeing the whole visuals of the army bombs glowing in sync and all that in rainbow colors, that was just amazing.
You briefly touched upon like some of the songs that they were talking about. Most of us, whenever we go to a concert, we're always curious about the set list. Now, if you had to pick out one standout performance, what do you think it would be? And was there a song that felt maybe especially more powerful live when listening to the recorded version?
That's a tough question. Honestly, I can't pick one. In respect to the title song, Swim, I would say it was ethereal. They had like white clouds in the forms of waves. The whole stadium was lit up in blue, and especially with the rain, it literally looked like a whole gigantic swimming pool. So yeah, that was definitely a vibe. So Swim was iconic. I would say my favorite personally would be the stage with Fire plus Fire, where they mashed up the old and new song together. It was very hype and very fire energy. They constantly threw the flamethrowers, and it was like the whole heat just heated up the stadium that everybody forgot about the cold with the rain itself. And lastly, I think the highlight for the whole show on day one and the other shows as well too was the medley they did with Body to Body to Idol. There was a transition over there that had a traditional theme altogether. And as you know, Body to Body has the Arirang. So everyone chanted Arirang together. It was such a scene seeing foreigners, international armies, singing the lyrics of the Korean traditional folk song Arirang together. And then it transitioned into Namjoon RM on like a king's chariot or something. And he was just like circling the whole stadium together with like traditional artists and instruments all together. So it was just such a scene to see that, yeah.
Wow, I'm so happy that we get to hear this from you because we were not able to be at the concert. But speaking of the Arirang part inside Body to Body, there were mixed responses before the song came out, whether they should make it so obvious to have that part in there. But I say I'm really liking that part.
Oh, 100%.
Yes, and especially as you mentioned, having all of these global fans sing to it together is really meaningful.
Yes.
And David, we heard that the atmosphere, I mean, you mentioned it as well, outside the venue was also great. Tell us what kind of events they had outside as well.
Yes, it was basically like a festival. The city light up, and there was like subway ads from each individual members. There were buses, there were LED trucks just circling the whole venue itself constantly. So the whole city was plastered with BTS. Even Goyang City themselves made an official poster right in front of the stadium saying "Welcome Army" from all over the world. There was a lot of local support as well too. You could notice very like little cafes that gave out cup holders to little souvenirs to armies that were visiting, and there were special offers from convenience stores towards International Army. There were English signs, so everyone was well prepared, and it was a massive festival. Yeah.
Overall, it seems like a very, very successful concert, and from what you've been telling us, it just seems like the whole concert was great. So I imagine there wasn't many very disappointing parts,
Not
right?
that much, yeah.
Yeah. So is there anything that maybe left you maybe a little bit maybe underwhelmed?
Yes, so this is particularly only for day one. There were some technical issues according to ARMY and the BTS members themselves. They prepared a lot of things. However, due to the heavy rain, things like the smoke or the fog machines occasionally, just blurred up the view a lot for people that were at the site and also watching via live stream as well too. So even the members like Jimin was on live stream and said like, oh, it was such a, unfortunate to see, you guys having blocked vision over there. I think one constructive criticism that comes from me is maybe because of the language barrier. It was so fun during the comment sections when the members were joking amongst each other, but because there weren't real-time subtitles, the international ARMY didn't really get what they're talking about. And it would be amazing to like cherish that moment all together. So yeah, management-wise, everything was just flawless. They had gradual exiting. It was very safe and orderly. So overall, it was a 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Okay, and last but not least, let's talk about the rest of the tour because this is growing, this is expanding to across the world. I think this weekend they're going to be in Tokyo.
Yep.
So David, tell us, what can fans look forward to as the tour unfolds?
So it's only going to get bigger from now. They've only started in Korea, and as you said, they're going to Tokyo, North America, everywhere around the world. It's going to be very high energy. As you know, Asian and Korean concert culture is very different from Western ones as well too. So a lot of people I've been seeing in the comments, oh, wait till Brazil, wait till, Chicago or something. And they'd be like, we're going to be, just screaming out of our lungs and all that. So yeah, I think it's going to be a very different scene. One point to look at particularly is the Arirang chant part. It's going to be like an archive of all these different nationalities and people around the world just singing Arirang day after day in these stadiums, so that will be definitely iconic. So yeah, there's one spoiler. Actually, V, during the first concert, he said something, he did a little slip about, oh, we'll definitely come back for an encore in Korea, and then there were signs of the members saying, oh, you shouldn't have said that.
Oh.
So yeah, that might be a hint. Looking forward for more dates. There are unreleased dates yet on the poster and the roster as well. So yeah, you don't have to be disappointed that your city is excluded for now. Yes.
Okay, too many ARMY already heard that spoiler and now even more. But thank you very much, David, for sharing your experience, your vivid experience of the BTS concert, and see you next time.
Thank you, David.
And thank you, Walter, as always. We're going to see you in a few days.
See you in a few days.
Thanks for watching and your interest in everything K-culture. Please tune in again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Korea time, and keep diving.